TV's Kitchens. It's October, it is pumpkin time, Halloween, loads of Halloween recipes out there. I'm going to show you one that I think personally really works well. The richness of butternut squash and pumpkin creates a delicious soup, velvety and rich and thick and lovely. But I'm going to work with some California prunes, and I'm going to pickle them in lime juice, chili and coriander stalk to create a really lovely salsa that cuts right through that richness and gives you a delicious, nutritious flavour. So, I've also got my pressure cooker. I got sent this by Lakeland when I did some work for them, and I kind of love it. And it is brilliant for cooking soups. 10 minutes, we're good to go. So, handful of pumpkin and squash. Let's half a butternut squash and half a pumpkin, okay? And I'm going to keep the rest of that for a rainy day, so we'll pop that over there. I'm going to use that for something else. There we go. Right, we'll add a touch of oil in there. So this soup's going to be dairy-free as well as gluten-free. You don't need any gluten. Going to add a good sprinkle of salt in there, and that will draw the moisture out and help the whole cooking process. So I've got 3 cloves of garlic here. Squash them all and just chuck them straight in the pan, okay? Now, if you haven't got a pressure cooker, you could do this in a saucepan and a lid. Exactly the same, it just takes a bit longer to cook. That is the only difference. So I've got half a red onion there, and then another half of a red onion here. Let's whack those in as well. Get all the good flavours. You always need garlic and a bit of onion in a good soup. I've got half a red chilli. Going to remove the seeds because I don't want it like too hot, but I do want a little bit of heat in there. It'd be nice. Okay, right. Got some spices. 2 teaspoons of cumin. I'm using dried cumin today, ground cumin even. And then I've got 1 teaspoon of coriander ground and half a teaspoon of ginger. Okay, I have got 1 vegetable stock cube. Give it a good stir, and then I am going to throw in some boiling water now. Right, I've got boiling water. Really important. If you're pushed for time and you want a quick soup, then you need to get things hot. If you put a pint of cold water in there, it's going to take a lot longer. So, boiling kettle, and I'm just going to put enough water in just to cover the vegetables that are in there. And usually when you're making soups with squashes and pumpkins, that generally, rule of thumb, is enough water. It's just to cover it, okay? Just enough. And then we're going to get this up to the boil and then put the pressure cooker lid on. Okay, so it's almost at the boil now. Okay, so that is just about to come to the boil now. So on with the lid. I do like this pan because, unlike a lot of pressure cookers, it mechanically closes. So you press that button, boom, set the pressure, and that's it. I'm going to give that about 8 minutes, and it'll be soft and tender and delicious. Then we'll blend it up, season it, and I'm going to serve it with this delicious salsa. Now, limes. These are going to work really, really well with my prunes. So I work with California Prunes to create loads of delicious recipes, and this is exactly what I do, okay? So I want to get a real tang. So rather than harsh vinegar, I wanted to go lime juice, okay? So lime juice, two limes, okay? Should be enough for this. And actually, if you've got a little bit extra, it'll probably keep in the fridge, no problem. Okay, so squeeze those limes out. I always roll my limes and kind of get most of the chambers kind of squashed so that I get extra juice out of them. You can see it's just coming up to pressure now. I'm quite new to pressure cookers. Always been a little bit scared of them, but set a challenge by my friends at Lakeland to have a go with one, and this is kind of, I've had real good success with it so far. I've made a really beautiful risotto. So, right, lime juice. So, California prunes. Beautiful, sweet, tangy, delicious. And then all I'm going to do is dice them up into little pieces. Okay, and drop them straight in the lime juice. And then they will kind of soak up that tangy acidity that comes from the juice, and that is what's going to cut through this soup beautifully. Right. California prunes straight into my lime juice. I've got half a red chili here, half went in the soup, half's going in the salsa. So slice the chili up into nice fine little pieces, and then turn it the other way and dice it into little matchsticks. And then just chop the chili up into little pieces and then drop it in there with the California prunes. And then I have got some coriander stalk, okay? So I'm going to use the stalk with the salsa. And then maybe we'll use a little bit of leaf at the end. So chop the coriander up really nice and fine. And then add that stalk in. And that stalk, if I put the leaf in there, the acidity of the lime juice would just wilt it to nothing. But because we're using the stalk, we're going to get that wonderful flavour. And we're also going to get a nice little crunch from it as well. So it is essentially what a salsa would do. And then I'm just going to push all the lime and the prunes together so that those prunes just kind of go and suck up all the lime juice and become really tangy. And that's exactly what I want it to do. So that's our salsa done. So I'm releasing the pressure from the pressure cooker now. It's cooked away. It's had like 6-7 minutes. The squash and the pumpkin will be lovely and soft and tender. So look, it's lost all its pressure. We'll just open it now. There we go. And there. Delicious. Looks and tell. And you can tell that this is cooked. Because if you look at the pumpkin now, it is soft. Look at that. Can you see that? Just breaks up. Can you see that, Emily? That just breaks up. Which means it's going to have a lovely velvety texture, which is what you want from a soup like this. The onions are cooked, everything. That is real, you know, it's cooked really quickly. So I've got a stick blender here. I'm just going to plug that in. There we go. And then we are just going to blend this soup, season it, and we're ready to serve. There we go. Really quick, simple blend. That's it. Nice and easy. And you can see. Look, if I get the ladle, if I ladle that, look how thick and delicious and lovely. How warming and satisfying would that be? Okay, let's have a quick taste, and just to make sure it's all right for seasoning. Okay. Little season of salt there for me just kind of brings it up. When you do pumpkin soup, there's that fine balance between sweet and savoury because it is a very sweet product, but that little bit of salt's just lifted it up now. So ladle our soup in. Okay, you see that, Emily? This soup needs no cream either. I think it's lovely and creamy itself. It doesn't need any added cream to it at all. And then we've got our wonderful pickled California prunes. The guys at California Prunes will love this recipe. I expect you all to be making this in the office, okay? It is really, really simple. And just, you can see, can you see that? It's soaked up all the lime juice. We've gone 2 limes, and that is all that's left. 1 little teaspoon of juice there, because it's all soaked into the prunes. And we're just going to sit that in the middle. Okay, so that every time you get a nice big spoonful, you get that little bit of tang. And I always like to finish with a touch of olive oil, because you get a lovely silky mouthfeel when you actually eat that. I am going to get a spoon, because this soup is going to be delicious. Right. This will be the second time I've made this, so I know it's really good. But I'm still going to have a taste of it. And make sure I get a little bit of that prune there. Delicious. It absolutely works. Those succulent, juicy, tangy pieces of California prune just cut through it beautifully. It's a lovely, thick, rich soup. Everyone can make a pumpkin soup, but to make that simple little salsa just takes it from there to there.